Luxembourg, a name that conjures images of medieval castles on emerald hills, a fairy tale land. But this tiny nation is also a land of contrasts. It boasts a thriving financial sector and is currently the wealthiest country in the world per capita, where ancient history meets modern innovation. Luxembourg defies expectations with public transport. Public transport is completely free. No more fumbling for change, just hop on. This little duchy is not afraid to think big. In March 2020, Luxembourg took a giant leap forward by becoming the first country in the world to offer free public transport nationwide. This groundbreaking initiative, aimed at tackling congestion and promoting sustainable mobility, applies to all modes of transport, from buses and trams to trains. Imagine the joy of tourists and locals alike, exploring the enchanting streets of Luxembourg City without the hassle of buying tickets. The decision to go fare-free wasn't impulsive. They experimented with free public transport for several years, gradually expanding its scope. The results were encouraging, with a notable increase in ridership and a decrease in car usage, particularly in urban areas. The government, recognizing the potential of this initiative, decided to take the plunge and make it permanent. While the results have been difficult to assess because the scheme was introduced during the COVID-19 pandemic, tram journeys have increased from 22,000 per week pre-COVID to 88,000 a week in 2022. This shift towards public transport has also contributed to a reduction in traffic congestion, making the streets of Luxembourg more livable and breathable. Luxembourg's free transit experiment has garnered international attention, with many praising its ambition and potential. However, it's not without its critics and challenges. Some argue the cost is too high, even for Luxembourg. Their public transport budget was €800 million last year. While the government allocates a significant budget to subsidize the system and spends more on transport relative to its economic output when compared with other European nations, is that such a bad thing? The system is undergoing continual improvement. Luxembourg is embarking on 14 major rail improvements as part of its mobility plan for 2035. While beneficial for the environment, it raises questions about sustainability. It's important that quality doesn't suffer, which is a key concern in cities around the world. Luxembourg isn't alone in its quest for fare-free public transport. Cities around the world are experimenting with similar initiatives, albeit on a smaller scale. Last week, Brisbane announced that as of the 5th of August, public transport fares will be reduced to a 50-cent flat rate across all zones and modes on the TransLink network. Australian cities are notoriously car-centric, and I speak from experience, having spent most of my life in them. This is a bold and ambitious move, and we'll certainly be following the results on this channel. 2 days ago, Belgium announced a new pass to allow 18 to 24-year-olds to use all public transport in the country for just €59 per month. Belgium has a history of free fare public transport. In 1997, the city of Hasselt made headlines when it abolished fares on its public transport system, resulting in a 1,300% increase in public transport ridership. Despite the benefits, the fares were reintroduced in 2014, but not without demonstrating to the world the transformative potential of free public transport in increasing ridership. These examples highlight the growing momentum behind fare-free transit as one mechanism to encourage greater public transport use and ease the strain on urban transport networks. It is certainly the case that free public transport requires larger budget commitments from governments. However, when considered against the huge budgets needed to continually expand roads for cars, I'm not convinced the financial concerns are fully justified. While the specifics of implementation may vary, the underlying goal is the same: to create more equitable, sustainable, and livable cities by making public transport accessible to all. Luxembourg's bold move to embrace fare-free public transport offers valuable lessons for cities around the world. It demonstrates that free transit can indeed entice people out of their cars and onto buses and trains, leading to less congestion, cleaner air, and a more vibrant public realm. However, it also highlights the need for careful planning of such an initiative, sustained investment in the system, and a commitment to continually deliver a quality transit system above all else. Free fares alone won't create a truly successful public transport system. A free but inconvenient service is unlikely to attract a large segment of the population to use public transport. Investment in infrastructure, increasing service frequencies, and ensuring accessibility for all users is crucial to ensure that public transport is not just free, but also convenient, comfortable, and reliable. After all, who wants to ride a crowded, infrequent bus, even if it is free? Ultimately, the goal should be to create a public transport system that is so good, so convenient, and so seamlessly integrated into the fabric of the city that people choose it not because it's free, but because it's the best option. A system so good that people don't mind paying a fare. Luxembourg's experiment is a step in the right direction, in recognition by decision makers that more people on public transport is better for the city, but the journey towards a truly sustainable and equitable transportation future is far from over. See you in the next video.